בעזרת השם, בשעה טובה ומוצלחת, והיא back in לימוד במדרש דוד חי, מצוות דאורייתא. Today is Sunday morning, the 17th? No, 18th. The 18th of the month of Shvat. Bezrat Hashem, we are holding on Monday, Sunday, the first day of the week of Parashat Shabbat, Parashat Mishpatim. Bezrat Hashem, בשעה טובה ומוצלחת. So we're going to be continuing mitzvah al pi haseder. The two daily mitzvot are 233. It says over here that a judge is prohibited to do any improper judgments. And mitzvah number 234, a judge is prohibited from honoring one litigant over the other. So those are two mitzvot for today. Bezrat Hashem. Let's start with 233. Shalo yaseh adayan avel v'daya abedin. A judge is prohibited to make improper judgments. V'ha'ava avel yeh b'chol et she'avor al ma she'tzivta lanu haTorah b'inyan adin. So what is this improper judgment? Any element, any nuance that will lead to go against the Torah laws, that will be considered to be improper behavior of the judge. אלא אם כן עשה ברצון בעלי הדין. אז זה נאמר לא תעשו עוול במשפט. Okay? So he has to, first rule, the two litigants have to agree to the judge. Okay? And if he does anything against the Torah, that will be prohibited and that will be called misjudgment. Now, so Shoresh Mitzvah Yadua, so everybody knows why it's important for a judge. It's very simple, right? If the judges are corrupt, so there's no trust, there's mistrust, there's no community in the end. Otherwise, the community will disintegrate and everything will fall apart if the judges are favoring some over the others or doing improper judgments. The following is going to be enumerating now how to fulfill this mitzvah. As our sage just said, that adin b'chlal ma'avel ha'mishpat hu. So מה שאמרו זכרונו לברכה, שהמענה את הדין, anybody who misguides the judgment in any form of way, he is actually destroying the rule of the law. ומה שאמרו הבו מתונים בדין, as the sages told us in מסכת פרקי אבות over there, be patient in your judgment, כדי שלא יבואו לעוול המשפט, in order for the judge to be very cautious and careful not to misjudge the scenario. ואמרו זכרונו לברכה שראוי למי שדין להימלך אם גדול ממנו אם הוא אצלו. Okay, so anybody who is in that position to give out, to give a psak halacha, to give a judgment, he should be very cautious and find somebody who's greater than him to take advice from him and to do it properly. ואמרו באזהרת עניין זה, the sages of Torah in reference to, they warn us in reference to this rule, כל המונע עצמו מן הדין, מונע ממנו איבד בגזל ושבועת שווא. Anybody, the sages told us in the Gemara over there, that anybody who refrains from passing judgment as a judge, he will prevent himself from being hated, there will not be no stealing, and also false swearing. וכל זה למדנו שהדבר צריך מתון וישוע הדעת הרבה כדי שלא יטעו בדין. And the person should be very meticulous and careful, and that's why judges have to be very, very patient in their passing of the law. כי הרבה דרכים יש בדינים, for there are different ways to rule the right or accordingly. וחכם גדול צריך בדין. And the person who has a vast knowledge and a very wise person has to be in judgment. כמו שאמרו זכרונו לברכה, the sages have told us, הרוצה להתחכם יעסוק בדיני ממונות. Anybody who wants to become a wise individual, he should go into sections in the Torah that discuss a lot about financial laws. And מקצוע בתורה גדול מהן. The financial laws of the Torah, those are the greatest, the biggest challenge, and will make a person very smart if he delves into the laws of that. שהן כמעיין הנובע, because there's so many ways to make money, and obviously to cheat, and obviously to lie, to make money. So therefore, an individual, a Jew, who toils with that, he will become a very wise person. הנובע. ויזהרונו גם כן שיהיה חביב עלינו דין של פרוטה כדין של 100 אמנה. לדון אותו לאמיתו. And a person should be very cautious that in a case that's in front of him, even if it's $5 or $5 million, it should be the same concept in his eyes and do proper judgment. ובני חומר הדין שפכו הרבה משיכול להטיל פשרת בין בעלי הריב ולאו נאמר אמת ומשפט שלום שפטו. Well, here we see already Chinuch is actually alluding to what the judges today in the Beit Din are doing. They're always trying to do pshara, they're always trying to settle things, beforehand to resolve all the problems. Is that a good thing or not? According to my Rosh Yeshiva, it was a very bad thing. You go to a Beit Din today and they're always pushing to do pshara, they're always pushing to settle outside of the Din. Mishpat shel shalom. Here you see that other way around. The reason why the judges are doing it is actually in a good thing, in a good format. But again, obviously, if you have a claim against somebody for $25,000, it will be a shame if you're going to settle for $12,500, right? Because you believe in your hands that he owes you $25,000. But if the judges will be pushing, let's settle, that is going to be a little bit the problem. וכן בדוד הוא אומר ויהי דוד עושה משפט וצדקה לכל עמו איזו משפט שיש עמו צדקה הווה אומר זה ביצוע. So as it says over there, David HaMelech was constantly what's his name, busy with making what's his name, judgments, okay, with basically making judgments in order to make peace between the nation. And we learned yesterday in Shmuel that was the Roa, that Avshalom. How did he trick the whole Jewish nation to follow him? This was the element that he used. He actually would stand in front of the gates before people had a chance to go to the king to have a judgment. He would actually start the judgment beforehand, and the Navi tells us this is how he acquired all the souls of the Jewish nation to go on his side. So again, there are many scenarios and then many warnings about, according to the Chazal, in order to prevent Chas v'Shalom, that the person should not be misjudging in any case. The judgment, a true judge, is only obviously males. This mitzvah is everywhere. It doesn't matter where the Jews live. And kihem mishpat. So now, the Rabbi is going to give us some scenarios where a person, Chas v'Shalom, went ahead and misjudged. What happens to a judge that goes ahead and violates the law of the Torah and passes a wrong judgment knowingly? Ovar alav zeh. So he's going to transgress Avirah mitzvah number 233, love, a prohibition. Aval en lokin alav. So, but however, this judge will not get lashed. Why? The lav shen b'maaseh ela dibur levad en lokin alav. Over here, the judge, he's not going to get lashed because he didn't do anything. But he did avla. He went against Torah. Chutz meotan sheminyano lemala. Okay, sheminyano. So there are some cases where there is a love of not of action, but just words. There he gets lashes, as we already discussed. However, here, Sha'arei kol adan shelo kedin Torah dino chozer. So we have another rule as that if we could establish that the person ruled against Torah, I guess the judgment could be overturned. So first rule is that it could be overturned by Beit Din Gadol. That's one rule. Second rule is that because the money that he misjudged could go back to the original owner, so therefore he doesn't get any lashes. So if any judge who makes a mistake in reference to clear-cut halacha, the rule is that everything goes back to the original, to the original state. Anybody who judges specifically on purpose against what the Torah tells us, obviously his judgment is going to be annulled. And it's as if he didn't do anything. However, there's another rule is that if the judge did it on purpose, he will have to pay from his own pocket back to the leading in that he took the money from. However, we will not obligate him to get lashes. Even if he did something on Kegon, he went to the one litigant and he forcefully took away the item from him and gave it to the other one. Still, even though he did it by hand, still he doesn't get lashed. Why? Because we have another rule that any judgment, any prohibition that has a repayment back, so again, a person stole, it's Isur Torah, right? But we don't tell him to give you lashes. Why? Because if he steals, we said last week, he has to just return the item and he doesn't get lashes. If he doesn't have the item, he has to pay for it. Same thing the judge. If he did all this and he went against Torah, he took away an item from somebody, he has to return it. ואם לא, שיראה העניין נמצא מגדר מלאכתו, באנו לפרש בכאן כל הצדדים שאינו חוזר. Okay, so that's what the discussion over there. But again, this is the general concept of where we are talking here. Mitzvah number 244. שלא יכבד הדיין אחד מבעלי הדין. So over here we know to discuss now. The halacha says a judge cannot favor one of the litigants. Let's say a scenario it would be very hard if somebody has a case, let's say with Hatzalah, right? What is Hatzalah? Hatzalah is not a rich person. Hatzalah is an organization that helps every Jew in town. So the question is, can judges, when there is a case between Hatzalah and another individual, can the judges be favored? You hear what's going on? Because he has on the Allah Ana'ah, he has the people, most people, if not everyone in this community, especially when they had the child to give birth and the Hatzalah came to their house, even on Shabbat took their wife to the hospital or to their granddaughter to the hospital. All right, so there's so many, what's his name? So many relations. But still, the Torah prohibits us, mitzvah number 234, to favor anybody over the other, even if the person did for you a lot. So the Shaila, let's delve into it. שלא לכבד הדיין אחד מבעלי הדין בשעת הריב, a prohibition of Torah that the judge should be very meticulous not to favor one over the other. ואפילו היה גדול ונכבד ונושא פנים. Even Donald Trump, somebody that you appreciate, right? כביכול, this guy claims that he's helping the Jewish nation. So you think, right? I don't know what happened yesterday. Zohar, did he accomplish what he wanted? How many hostages were released yesterday? He gave them deadline, by 12 p.m.
I don't know actually.
No?
I realized this
Yossi,
morning, I didn't even...
Yossi, how many hostages you released yesterday? כמה שבויים שחררו? 3. Mr. President אמר בשעה 12 you have to release everybody. That is a joke. The guy is a joke. I don't know. People trust this guy. I don't know why. Anyway, so now you're going to say, oh, how can I? This guy is doing us so much favors. Right? So maybe I could favor him. You're not allowed to honor a great person in the Beis Din. Meaning in the Beis Din right now, there are 2 litigants in front of you. They're both guilty. The halacha says, Mishnah Pirkei Avot, that you should see both of them as guilty parties. They're both liars, both shakranim, both thieves. Right? ואמרו בספרה שלא תאמר עשיר הוא זה בן גדולים הוא, a person should not say this is a wealthy man, this is a very powerful man, this is a איך וישנו.
In the Gemara, I think you're supposed to think positive.
No, judgment, when people come, the Mishnah tells you clearly in Pirkei Avot, when the litigants come in front of you, they're both rashaim, they're both evil. However, once the judgment is passed, you see that they accept your judgment, they're both tzaddikim. Even if the person who lost is a tzaddik. כלומר, שלא יכבד אותו יותר מבעל דינו שאינו גדול כמוהו. לכך נאמר, לא תהדר פני גדול. To be very cautious and careful that just because this person is a great person, Ari Deri, yeah? Who is good in Eretz Israel? Ari Deri, how much money make sure the yeshivot get? How much money? Billions of shekels, right? So he comes to the Dayanim cannot say, oh, he's good. Okay, he's also Haver Knesset. No, if he has any machloket with anybody, they have to judge both guilty parties. And this way, until the judgment is passed. And also, obviously, that's just until the judgment is passed. If they take a look at the Mishnah, that it says that they both have to accept the judgment. They both have to agree and say, yes, we will not fight anymore. And then you say they're tzaddikim. Until then, they're both rashaim, evil individuals, because right now they're arguing. And the argument is the worst thing in the world. How do we know that? Hello? Zohar, how do we know that? Moshe Rabbeinu says to no?
It's based on
Datan Aviram, right? Datan wanted to hit Aviram, or Aviram wanted to hit Datan. He didn't hear him yet. But they were arguing. Moshe Rabbeinu calls them Rasha. Both of them Rasha, he calls them. Because they're both arguing. And argument is something that the Torah very much despises. A person should figure out a way to stay away from any argument. I'm talking to myself, obviously. Stay away, khalas. Keep your mouth shut, go away. There's no winning. I'm talking about with my wife. I'm doing. In my wife, I never win anyway, so. Ay. The Yetzer Hara is so strong. Stay away. So here, the two people are arguing. They're going against. They're not peaceful. So if they're not peaceful, they're both Rashaim until the judgment is passed. Shorash mitzvah yadua v'katavti berosh haseder mitzvah. So, okay, we know the purpose of this. Obviously, again, same concept. It's another part that, how can the community survive if you have favoritism? Chas v'shalom. מדיני המצווה מה שאמרו זיכרונם לברכה, our sages told us שלא יהיה אחד יושב ואחד עומד. Another rule is that they both should be standing or either should be sitting. אלא שניהם עומדים. כי בהיותם לפני הבית דין ראוי להם לעמוד כאילו הם לפני שכינה. It is appropriate that both should be standing as if before Hashem. כי רוח אלוהים שוכן בתוך עדות דייני ישראל, because the Hashem's I guess Hashem's part is the presence is there amongst the Jewish judges. כמו שנאמר אלוהים ניצב בתרס. It says אלוהים, Hashem's שכינה is present. ובכל מקום אמרו זכרונו לברכה שאם רצו להושיב בעלי הדין הרשות בידם, however the litigants want to sit down, it's probably that they are allowed to. הרבה דברים אמורים בשעת משא ומתן. אבל בגמר דין מן החיוב הוא בעמידה. This is talking about while they're in the middle of discussion. However, once the judges want to pass the judgment, they both must be standing. כמו שנאמר, ויעמוד העם על משה. As it says, the nation will stand before Moshe. אלא שנהגו בכל בתי דיני ישראל מאחר התלמוד הרשימם מפני המחלוקת ואפילו העדים שכתוב בהם ועמדו שני אנשים נוהגו גם כן היום להושיב ואת הפרטי. However, today the custom is to have them sitting throughout the whole time. Okay, but the problem is most Beit Din today don't rule on the spot. They need time. They take their time, and I think personally that they pass judgment where the litigants are not there even. So I don't know how they're fulfilling this mitzvah properly. They just send out emails or send out letters. This is the psak halacha. I guess busha today. Maybe people are not peaceful. Maybe they're afraid of curses, so they're doing it. Maybe I could find a good reason why they're doing it. And that's it. Once the judges don't have to get irritated by people. And people today, unfortunately, very much irritated, and they actually start cursing the judges. So in order maybe to avoid that scenario when a person will be cursing judges in front of witnesses, so the judges send out an email. This way, if he starts cursing the judges, he's doing it in his home. He's not cursing the judges. There are no witnesses to that. Okay, maybe that's going to be my assumption or interpretation of the current situation. Obviously, again, same thing. This mitzvah is only to the males. A woman is prohibited to be a judge. Okay, I know that there is a big deal about pushing women in the workforce today, pushing women even to the judges. And there's a crazy lady in Williamsburg that supposedly a very religious Frum girl who became a justice in New York Supreme Court. And why do I say that she's crazy? Because now she's actually opened a woman chatzola. You know that? Zohar. You see how crazy she is? That she became judge. She's a Frum lady, the judge of a civil court, Supreme Court of New York City. And because she has this azuk panim, this despicable behavior, and she made a whole thing on national television how the rabbis did not support her position, and she was mocking the rabbis there, chas v'shalom. And also she now opened a Jewish chatzola for women, for pregnant women, special chatzola in New York now. You heard about that? Shem Rachem. This is how crazy. There is no limit on crazy. This is an evil, pure evil individual. She became a judge, her nose became there, and now she even created her own hatzolah for women. Pregnant ladies call us, we will get you to the hospital. Shem irachem aleinu. Stay away from such an evil. Hashem should protect us. Where did this stems from? As I already said, this is all stems from rabbits and X, Y, and Z's coming to give a drosha. Chas v'shalom, a woman should be giving any lectures anywhere and publicly. This is only, we're going to get a lot of this kind of results of girls who are not going and who cannot reach those levels of those ladies. In the end, they become evil, like this lady who became a judge, and now, Rahman al-Itzan, she created her own hatzolah to save women. That's what we need. We need Jewish women running around in EMS forms and trying to, what's his name, bring the Jewish woman to the hospital. That's Hashem Merachem. Right? As we said already here, ועובר עליה וכיבד בעל דין אחד יותר מחברו במזיד. A Jew that went ahead and honored one of the litigants, עבר עליו זהו ביטל עשה, so now he's over, he transgressed mitzvah number 234, שכתוב בצדק תשפוט. He did not judge favorably. Now he did two עבירות. One עבירה of מצוות עשה, one מצווה לא תעשה. Right? As it says there, you should judge Jews favorably. ומה שהתירו זיכרונם לברכה בזה ביתרון החכם על עם הארץ, עם קצת שאר דיני מצוות, כתוב למעלה בראש הסדר מצווה עשה. סדר משפט עמיתך. So the next mitzvah actually, mitzvah number 35, will judge, will give a command to, that's tomorrow, to a judge to be very careful and cautious in his passing of judgments. Baruch Adonai L'olam. Amen. Amen. Anybody has a question? Yaakov. You have a question?
Yes.
No questions. Okay. No questions. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a tzachar v'tatzlichu b'chol inyanim.